Krishna, Bhakti, the Nectar of Devotion. Our first session will study something from here, which is the characteristics of pure devotional service. Because once you hear about its characteristics, just like Rukmini, she had never seen Krishna, but she heard about the characteristics of Krishna, and she became very greedy that I must have this Krishna as my husband. She'd never seen him. So this is Rukmini became very, very greedy to have Krishna as your husband. We should become very, very greedy to have pure bhakti. So by hearing about the characteristics of pure devotional service, just as Rukmini became greedy for Krishna, we can also become greedy for pure bhakti. In that way you can achieve Krishna. Prabhupada lists, actually Rupa Goswami lists, 6 characteristics of pure devotional service. The first one is that pure devotional service brings immediate relief from all kinds of material distress. That's really nice, all kinds, not just some of the material, not just some of the kinds of material distress, all kinds of material distress. If we were to make a list of all the things that are distressful in this material world, it would be, and we could make hundreds and thousands of things on the list, that are distressing. I mean, if I said, give me a list of everything that disturbs you, and make a thorough list, we come up with a pretty long list. Oh, this I don't like this, I don't like that. This one thing, I don't like the weather, I don't like the politicians, I don't like old age, I don't like death, I don't like terrorists, we can just go on and on. I don't like the flu, we can just go on and on with the humongous list. I don't like puberty, it's so many things. Puberty was my anxiety, so many things. I don't like going bald, we can come up with so many things that are disturbing and distressing in this world, I don't like disagreeing with my spouse, it's so many things we can do. There's so many things that disturb us. They are subdivided into 3 categories. Adhyatmik, Adhibhautik, Adhidaivic. We are all familiar with these miseries of the mind and the body. The Adhyatmik, the miseries caused by other living entities, Adhibhautik, and the Adhidaivic, the natural disturbances or the disturbances caused by the demigods. So this is an all-inclusive deal here. Pure bhakti wipes out all the disturbance. So it's pretty special. What gadget in this world can Stephen Jobs try to do with the iPhone? Somebody can do everything, but it couldn't do everything. It couldn't do everything. It couldn't relieve him from death, you see. But here we have something which gives everything that's distressful, is every single problem is solved by this one thing. That's amazing. There's nothing in this world competes with pure devotional service. Nothing comes even close to pure devotional service. Because it completely obliterates, blows to smithereens every single kind of distress you could ever possibly have in millions and millions of lifetimes. Wow, that's pretty awesome. And what's even more amazing, pure devotional service brings immediate relief. You may say, well, come on, I've been chanting Hare Krishna for 25 years and I got so many disturbances. How you can say this? It brings immediate relief. Well, is your devotional service pure? Is it? And there's mixed devotional service and there's pure devotional service. Well, the problem, my dear Prabhus and Maharajas, is this. We're doing devotional service, but it's not pure. That's why we still have anxieties. So, that's another purpose of this seminar, is to inspire, encourage all of us to come off of this marginal position of mixed devotional service and come finally say, okay, Maya Devi, I'm finished flirting with you once and for all. My days of courting you, Maya Devi, and messing around with you are over. Now it's Krishna and only Krishna from henceforward, you see. Because that's what it takes. If you want to get immediate relief from all the distress, that's what it takes. You got to tell Maya to take a hike and never come back. You really do. Not just on Sunday, not just on Saturday, not just in the morning or in the evening, but 24/7, in all times, places and circumstances. My dear Maya Devi, please go take, do your thing on somebody else, not on me. The heart is sometimes compared to a hotel. And if you have some empty rooms in your hotel, then Maya can come and she can check into the heart, check into the hotel of your heart, you see. If you have any empty space in there without Krishna consciousness, you see, Maya looks for the gaps. If you have any place there, you're 24 hours, there's a little gap, Maya will definitely come and occupy that space for you. In the hotel of your heart, if there's any vacancy, she'll come and she'll check in. So the trick is this, you got to fill up every single corner of your psyche, your consciousness with Krishna consciousness. 24/7, in all times, places, and circumstances. So when Maya comes to check into the hotel of your heart, what will she see? No vacancies. So she has to go to some other hotel to find a space to spend the night. This is why Rupa Goswami, actually now time management is a big buzzword in the corporate world. Why? Because they want to squeeze more work out of the workers. That's all. They want to squeeze more out of you. That's what time management. But the original father of time management is Rupa Goswami. Do you know that? He's the father of time management. Because he has stated, don't waste a single moment. Do not waste a single moment. You see, that means every moment has to be for Krishna. That is pure bhakti. You see. That is pure bhakti. So this is an amazing thing. You may say, well, how does it really work? I mean, aren't we still going to get old? Aren't we still going to die? I mean, is it you just in Haribol and also you have a spiritual body? I mean, what's going on here? No, actually, Prabhupada explains in a wonderful lecture he gave in Los Angeles. He said that deathlessness begins from the very day of initiation. So as soon as you take this process very seriously and take shelter of a bona fide spiritual master, a disciple, you see, that means you're totally giving yourself to the spiritual master. That now you are my Lord and Master, I have no more independence, whatever you say goes. You see? As soon as you put yourself completely at the lotus feet of the spiritual master, the bona fide guru coming in parampara, you see. As soon as you put yourself in complete submission to the spiritual master, then you're no longer living as that body that I am male, I am female, I am Indian, I am Gujarati, I am Texan, I am Ontarian, or whatever you call it, Ontario. I'm not any of these things. You see? Gopi Vartu Pada Kamalayar Dasa Dasa Nasa. Lord Chaitanya taught us, very nicely quoted by Rupa Goswami, the Pajavali 74, text 74. So, as soon as one completely surrenders himself to the bona fide spiritual master, now he's simply living as a servant. He may maintain his body, that's okay. I mean, you have to, vidyam shavidyam yashta vedo viyamsa. You're going to maintain your body along, there's vidya and avidya going on, two parallel tracks, that's all right. We don't say neglect your body. Now that you're a devotee, you can't feed yourself. You're not your body, so you can't eat anymore. No, we never say that. We say, here, have the shot. But we do everything in the consciousness of not being the body. So instead of eating to gratify my tongue and gratify my belly, I take what I need to stay healthy and energized and enthused, for serving Krishna. So everything, when I surrender to Bonafide spiritual master, everything becomes dovetailed with Krishna consciousness. Even my earning money. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he's a pure devotee, spiritual master. He was working as an employee for the British government. You see? He wasn't a sannyasi, he was an employee of the British government. Sometimes people say, well, you can't, some people are shocked to see how, somebody told one of my disciples in Mayapur, they said, your guru's not a sannyasi? That's not possible. Sannyasi guru has to be a sannyasi. But I guess they didn't read the Krishna book and see that Krishna's guru was a householder. Sandipani Muni. I guess they didn't read the Krishna book yet. That should be required reading. Every devotee should read the Krishna book. People can. So anyway, the point is that we simply have to surrender ourselves at the lotus feet of the Bonafide spiritual master. And to the extent that we do that, and that is pure devotional service, to the extent that we do that, to that extent, we become immediately relieved from all kinds of material distress. So everybody can choose their own comfort level. You get to choose. You have full freedom. As Krishna states in the Gita, Itite jnanamakatam guya guyatanam maya vimrishraya dasheshena yateshtasi tathakuru by 1863. He says, thus I've explained to you this knowledge even more confidential. He said, now you deliberate on this fully and do what you like to do. So you have a choice. What comfort level you like? You like to have a 50-50 blend of distress and bliss? Maybe an 80-20 blend, 80% distress and 20% bliss? Or if you want 100% bliss and no distress, it's up to you. You get to pick your own stress and bliss mix. What is your choice, What would you like? Well, I'm not ready for full bliss yet. Give me 1% bliss and 99% stress. You get a choice. I gave a seminar on one of these high-tech corporations in Pune one time. No stress success was a seminar meeting. They did it in the corporate meeting room. All the workers came in. The manager was there. No stress success. They liked it. So, actually, if you want, you can have zero stress and full bliss. You simply have to enter into pure devotional service. So if you argue that, well, still going to get sick and old and die, how do you consider? But this is a very esoteric or high-level understanding. It's right there in the Bhagavatam, actually, in chapter 8 of the first canto. Vipada shanti tashvata tattva tattva jagadguru bhavanam darshanam yachat apadabhava darshanam. That last, this is Kunti Devi's prayer. Apunar bhava darshanam. You see, bhava is the repetition of birth and death. Apunar means not again. Darshanam means seeing. I will not again see the repetition of birth and death. And how does she qualify herself for this? By seeing everything as the mercy of Krishna. Everything. She said, Krishna, now you're leaving, you're going back to Dwarka. But actually, you've freed us from all the distresses we had in the forest. When we were in exile, so many distresses you relieved us from. But that was so wonderful, my Lord. This is the whole mood and purport of what she's saying. that was so wonderful, my Lord, and we were completely in total distress. Because then we could do nothing except take shelter of you, and that was our perfection. So Kunti is saying, my dear Lord, please give me more stress. Because the more I have stress, the more I actually experience genuine bliss. Because then I can do nothing and take shelter of you. So this is the insider's secret of how to transform stress into bliss. See the hand of Krishna in everything. Do you think Krishna is not present? Krishna is fully present. He's right here, right now. Not just in the deity form. The great pure devotees, they can see Krishna. Premanjana charita bhakti valochanena santaksadai vijadayeshu valokayanti yam sham shungaram shinyu ganasvarupam govindam adipurusham tamaham bhajami. By anointing their lives with that amazing ointment. Another word for ointment is ungament. And that's another English word for ointment. There's a similar word in Sanskrit, anjana. Ungament, anjana. Very similar, etymologically. So that prem anjana, that prem ungament, that prem ointment is the Krishna Gatha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, through this amazing substance, this prem anjana, by taking it in through our ears, it purifies our heart, it purifies our consciousness, it purifies our vision so we can see Krishna is actually there. The shloka says within, but Prabhupada in one translation said within and without, because when you can see Krishna within, you'll see him everywhere. The more you're qualified to see Krishna within your heart, the more you will see him everywhere. Bhagavad Gita 6:30. Yomang pashati sarvatat sarvam samai pashyati tashahamnat pranashati sachamena pranashati. For one who sees me in everything and everything in me, I am never lost, nor is he ever lost to me. So it's pretty amazing. When you take up pure devotional service, what you're doing is you're connecting with that person who is right there right now, but you just can't see him because of lust, anger, greed, madness, illusion, and envy. I just recently discovered an amazing quote from Prabhupada about chanting Hare Krishna. We always say, fix your mind in the sound vibration. But in this letter, it's a letter to Balavi Devi Das, one of his disciples. His first advice to her when chanting Hare Krishna, she said, feel the presence of Krishna. And if you can't do that, then fix your mind on the sound vibration. But I thought that was an amazing, it is amazing. Everything that Prabhupada says is not just I think. It's absolutely amazing point. Prabhupada is saying, feel the presence of Krishna. Because Krishna is present. And feeling his presence means, first of all, it means we realize that he's there. Philosophically, right now we don't feel, but we can philosophically understand he is present. It means we have to soften our hearts. Understand there's a person there that I can have loving dealings with. This was what amazed me about the Bhagavad Gita. I was a young spiritual seeker back in the 60s. I had grown up in Christianity. God was some big figure off there in a mountain 10 million miles away. Unapproachable. But I found one verse in the Bhagavad Gita back in the fall of 68. Krishna says, you offer me the love and devotion, a leaf, a flower, wood or water, I'll accept it. I was amazed. You can actually offer God something and he'll take it from little old me? little insignificant me, yet I can directly offer to him, and he'll take it from me. I was astounded by this principle. So it's a fact. God is there waiting for you to approach him with love by chanting, by offering food, by offering obeisances, by offering service, by taking shelter of his external manifestation, the bona fide spiritual man too. He's there right now, present with you, waiting for you to come out of your stupor of sense gratification, bodily consciousness, and actually reconnect yourself with him. And the ultimate, and then as you become more qualified, you will see him directly. You will see Krishna in your presence. Prabhupada personally gave you the most wonderful instruction in one lecture. He said, now you just qualify to see, you qualify yourself to see Krishna face to face. So the disciple is supposed to obey his spiritual master, isn't it? Spiritual master gives an order. Aren't you supposed to follow it, or is it just a suggestion? It's mandatory. So I'm just begging Prabhupada's mercy that I can do that. That's not an easy thing. The yogis aspire for thousands and thousands of years to achieve that position. To actually be able to see God. So pure devotional service means you become qualified to see God. You become qualified to see God. So even if we can't see now God, we should philosophically see God. Through the philosophy, we should understand how Krishna is acting in every situation. And then by philosophically understanding, gradually we will feel how he is present. We'll feel, and then gradually be able to see Krishna. So that's the first one, pure devotional service. And the second one is pure devotional service is the beginning of all auspiciousness. What is a simple definition of all auspiciousness? That's when something is simply wonderful. It's like our simply wonderful sweets. Because now we have so many sophisticated sweets, Bengali sweets. Rasagula, in the early days we didn't know butter. And Vishnu Jan Swami would throw some strawberries in them. And many devotees joined this movement just by eating those simply wonderfuls. One time, one of my godbrothers in the class, he asked Prabhupada, he said, look, this is Nandi Kishore Prabhu. He used to be here in Tirana for some years. Nandi Kishore Prabhu, very dear godbrother of mine. He said, Prabhupada, what happens when we give somebody simply wonderful on the street? Prabhupada said, he will eat that sweet, that wonderful sweet. And he will come to your temple and he will become simply wonderful. Sri Prabhupada said this, he said this chanting of Hare Krishna is simply wonderful, this process is simply wonderful. And then Prabhupada said, and you all are simply wonderful. And then one devotee said, Prabhupada is simply wonderful. And Prabhupada said, that's all right at Kirtan. So, auspiciousness is when everything is simply wonderful. That's auspiciousness. So the more the world becomes, the more we become Krishna conscious, the more we become simply wonderful, the more the whole world becomes simply wonderful. Now the world is simply terrible. But the more we can introduce pure bhakti on this planet, the whole atmosphere will change. And this is the great prayer of Prahlad Maharaj. Great prayer given in Bhagavatam. Swasti astu vishvasha kala prasidatam tiyante bhutani shivam matodaya manasta brajam vajatam madokshaje naveshitam no majaratya hai naveshitam no matir apya haitiki. He says that May all envious persons throughout the entire universe become pacified. Let everyone become calm by practicing devotional service, for by doing so, everybody will think that everybody else's welfare. Therefore, let us all become absorbed now in the service of the supreme transcendence and always remain absorbed in thoughts of Him. So this is all auspicious. And the whole world can awaken to Krishna consciousness. So at least we can start here. You see, our mission actually, the Prabhupada gave us in Los Angeles. He told us, he said, become Guru and deliver the whole world. It's an order from Prabhupada. What can we do? We're little tiny struggling souls. The Prabhupada orders become Guru and deliver the whole world. So where do you begin? Well, you're going to start right here. Want to revolutionize the world? Well, you better start right here, revolutionize your own heart. That's where it begins. You see? Because to whatever extent you revolutionize your consciousness, to that extent you will naturally, automatically have a revolutionary impact on the entire global consciousness. Prabhupada told us, he said, the most important thing is to save the world. But even more important is to save yourself. This is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita chapter 3, text 21. Yad yad acharati shreshtas tattadeve tarojana sayad pramanam kurute lokastadanamartati. Whatever a great man does, the common people follow his footsteps. Whatever standard he sets by exemplary acts, the whole world pursues. So the more you become exemplary, Prabhu, the more you become exemplary, Mataji, you will have an impact on this planet. That's the thing. You individually will have an impact on this planet. So, pure devotional service is the highest weapon. So, as soon as you take up Krishna consciousness, now you're acting in such a way which is the auspiciousness also means the greatest benefit. You're acting in such a way that is the greatest benefit for you, for everyone you come in contact with, and with the entire material world. You're having the best possible impact on everything throughout the entire material existence. If you seriously take this mood of pure devotional service. And the third item is pure devotional service automatically puts one in transcendental pleasure. Well, this is natural. It's a natural thing. Because the more you be in the mood of giving, the more you become happy. What is the opposite? What is the word for a person who doesn't want to give anything to anybody? What is it called? Miser. M-I-S-E-R. There's another word, M-I-S-E-R-A-B-L-E. Miserable. Therefore, in Prabhupadian terms, miser means miserable. And just as miser means miserable, the opposite is also true. The more you're in the mood of giving, you see, the more you become ecstatic. That is the Vrindavan mood. You want to live in Vrindavan in every minute without having to get a ticket on the Air Canada? You can live in Vrindavan 24/7 if you're always in the mood of giving, giving, giving. What do they do in Vrindavan? They give. What is the Sanskrit for give? Da. Yashoda. You see? One who gives fame. Mother Jasoda, she giving fame. Yashoda. Kirtida. You want to live in Braj? At every minute, be a giver. Give Krishna to everyone. You see? Then you're living in Vrindavan, you see. So it's naturally, if you're living in such a way that is all auspicious, you're going to feel pretty good. You're going to feel really, really good. You're going to have a good day every day. You're going to wake up every morning with a big smile on your face. You'll wake up smiling, you go to sleep smiling, you'll dream smiling. Because you're not living for your own, that I'm the center of the universe anymore. Now you're living fully that Krishna is the center of the universe. And everything I do is for Krishna. Now we'll put you in a state of transcendental pleasure. That's okay. You'll be blissed out 24 hours a day. Bliss and heavy. The fourth item, pure devotional service is rarely achieved. Uh-oh. How am I going to make it? It's rare. I mean, getting into Harvard is not easy, right? Getting into pure devotional service is even more difficult. How am I going to make it? I'm not very qualified. It's hopeless. I can't even chant good rounds. I have a hard time even getting up in the morning, and how am I going to achieve pure devotional service? Forget it. It's hopeless. Wait a minute. Nectar of Das Adhikari has given us a very nice piece of advice. He said, Lord Chaitanya, you are known as Patita Pavana. You are merciful to those who are the most fallen. If you examine everyone throughout the whole existence, you will find I am the most fallen, despicable, unqualified person for devotional service. More than anyone else, I am the most unqualified, you see. And since you are very affectionate to those who are in the most fallen condition, therefore I am in the front of the queue for your mercy. So there's the hope. If you can, by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya, even though it's rarely achieved, as Krishna says, Manushanam sahasreshu kashta yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kashtanam meditatpataha. 1,000 come to achieve it, even one gets serious, now 1,000 become serious, hardly even one makes it. Well, the odds are pretty slim. I mean, it'd probably be easier to win the lottery. It seems so hopeless, you see. But by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya and Lord Nityananda, then even for poor basket cases like us, hopeless sense gratifiers of the modern day world, even we can attain pure devotional service, you see. You know it's rarely achieved. So this is a special mercy of Lord Chaitanya. You see, before it was practically impossible. But now it's easily obtainable. You simply have to have greed, as Rupa Goswami said. You have to be greedy for it. I guarantee you, even if you're the most unqualified person for devotional service, if you're greedy, no, but I want it, but you're not qualified. I don't care, I want it. You're totally unqualified. Why do you want it? Why are you saying I want it? You're so unqualified. You're lusty, you're angry, you're greedy, you're total No, I want it. Notice the word greed. It has two uses. Greed came in two ways. There's greed for material sense gratification, and there's greed for Krishna. So are you greedy for material sense gratification? For money, for power, for sex, for all these things? Are you greedy? Even if you are, just take your little greed switch and flip it the other way. Take the same greed you have for money, for sex, for power, for prestige. Take that same greed and just just turn the knob this way. Zip. Become greedy for Krishna. Take that same feeling of greed and just turn it, the little flip of the switch. That's all. That's why pure devotee association is very important, because the association of a pure devotee enables you to flip the switch. So, let's see here. This session, we're going a half hour this week, 10:45 now this session, is that right? Okay. We got 25 more minutes. Okay. The next item is that those in pure devotional service deride even the conception of liberation. It's really interesting, the language in these books. Because one would say, well, the pure devotees deride liberation. That's understandable. Why? They deride the conception of liberation. Why? You would say, why is Prabhupada Rupa Goswami, why is he, well, it's very clear actually. The answer is very clear. Liberation is so bad that even the thought of it is horrible. I mean, the thing itself is bad enough, is bad, but even it's so bad that even thinking about it, even the mere thought of merging into the Supreme Lord, merging is horrible, but even the thought of it, even the idea, even entertaining the idea for a flash of a second of merging into the Supreme is absolutely, just spit on it, It's something you just want to completely spit on the thought. So it's a very powerful statement. They deride even the conception of liberation. And then the conclusion of this is very, very sublime. These 6 characteristics of pure devotional service. Pure devotional service is the only means to attract Krishna. You can't bribe him. You can't flatter him. You can't build a rocket ship and barge your way into Golok. NASA nonsense. The only way is by pure devotional service. Pure bhakti is the only way. Now we are not a sectarian. You say, well, you people are sectarianists. You're saying pure bhakti is the only way. You said you weren't sectarian, but now I see you, Hare Krishnas, you are a sectarian because you say pure devotional service is the only way. You're as bad as a Christian. Actually, some Hindu boys, they say, you're just like born-again Christians. You're like born-again Hindus, You say but actually that's not the correct understanding. Pure devotional service, prema bhakti. Prabhupada said, either worship, he said, worship Buddha, worship Allah, worship Krishna, but do it perfectly. Lord Chaitanya said there's thousands and millions of names for God. And each and every name, is fully powerful delivering one. If somebody is more attracted to Allah, then let them give up their sinful activity. Let them give up illicit sex, meeting, intoxication, and gambling, those things which tie one to the flesh. If they want to chant Allah, actually I have one of my students who does chant Allah on my equip. He's not a Sunni or a Shiite. He's a, what is the other one? The mystical branch? Sufi. He's a Sufi Muslim. And they're into kirtan. So he's really in. His Sufi guru has left the body, so he wanted to take shelter of me now for inspiration on how to become a perfect Muslim. So we never say that you have to, this is a universal science. It applies whether you're a Muslim, a Christian, a Jew, a Sikh, a Jain, whatever you may be. These principles are universal principles. Pure devotional service is a universal principle. We are an educational movement teaching all religionists how to become perfect in whatever path they choose. And then Prabhupada gave a very nice description here on this item 6. He says, Krishna is all attractive, but pure devotional service attracts even him. This means that pure devotional service is even transcendently stronger than Krishna himself because it is Krishna's internal potency. Krishna is Ajita. He cannot be conquered. But Prabhupada explains, Krishna becomes jita, or conquered by his devotees' love. So many examples of it. Yashoda Arjuna. So many examples. This is what qualified it. You may have heard the story that Prabhupada told about that illiterate Brahmana in Rangachetra temple. He had no qualification. He was illiterate, he could not read, but his spiritual master ordered him that every day he should read 18 chapters of Bhagavad Gita. So he was the butt of everyone's jokes. They're always talking. He was the temple gossip, the community gossip. They're always joking about, that Brahmana, he doesn't know how to read. Every day he sits there all day long in the front of the Bhagavad Gita. He can't even read. Just see about how silly he is. Everybody was criticizing him like that. But he didn't care. I don't care what they say. Guru Maharaj ordered me, and I'm going to sit here and I'll look at these pages. Of course, it wasn't a printed book, but they had handwritten manuscripts in those days. So he was looking at the handwritten manuscript of the Gita, and he didn't care what they said. So anyway, Lord Chaitanya, in Chaitanya Charitamrita, we read how he toured South India. And so Lord Chaitanya came one day to Rangachetra temple, and he heard the buzz about the illiterate Brahmana reads the Bhagavad Gita. He goes, let me check out this Brahmana. What's going on with this Brahmana, the illiterate Gita, Brahmana reading Bhagavad Gita. So Lord Chaitanya approached him, Prabhupada explained. So the Brahmana, he was used to being criticized, but when he saw Lord Chaitanya, just imagine you're sitting there in the temple. Can you imagine if you were sitting in the temple reading Bhagavad Gita and Lord Chaitanya walked up to you? Oh, what an amazing thing that would be. You're sitting in the temple. I was just sitting in the temple one morning studying Bhagavad Gita and Lord Chaitanya came walking up to me. Wow, what an amazing thing. Anyway, when Lord Chaitanya walked up to me, he could immediately understand, this person has not come to criticize me. You can understand me. Because Lord Chaitanya was just radiating purity and pure love, just pure love emanating him like, penetrating, cutting through all the coverings of the universe. It is the loving, brilliant effulgence of Chaitanya can break through all the coverings of the universe. It's so powerful. So, Lord Chaitanya then said to him, he said, Brahman, I have heard that you are reading Bhagavad Gita, but yet you are illiterate. How is that, Brahman? And he said, what can I do? Yes, my spiritual master, I am illiterate, but what can I do? My spiritual master has ordered me that every day I must read 18 chapters. Then Lord Chaitanya said, but Brahmana, I see you're not only trying to read, but I see you are crying also, Brahmana. How is that? He said, yes, when I see they made one painting they put on the cover of this manuscript. I see that Lord Krishna, he is driving the chariot of Arjuna. And I'm thinking, oh, how kind is Krishna. That he's acting as the charioteer of his devotee Arjuna, and when I feel how kind is Krishna, I cry. So look, nobody got a big hug from Lord Chaitanya. He said, Brahman, you are the real scholar of Bhagavad Gita. So, we can learn this Brahmana, actually, he is our Siksha Guru. He's teaching us how we can attract Krishna. Even if we have no qualifications. If we just take whatever word our spiritual master has given us, and take it as our life and soul. That was Prabhupada's success. Prabhupada thought he would be a failure when he came to this country. He told us that. He told us in Atlanta, I was there with Prabhupada. This is when I got my Brahmins with, actually, in 75 in Atlanta. Prabhupada told us, he said, one of my godbrothers, he was preaching in the UK. It was actually very expensive. You can imagine supporting somebody in the UK with Indian rupees. It's very expensive. So, his godbrother was preaching to one Lord Zetland, actually Prabhupada, or Lord Zetland. But Prabhupada, the Bengalis don't say the Z. So Prabhupada pronounced it Jetland, like a jet airplane. The Bengalis are not used to saying the Z sound, so Prabhupada said Lord Zetland. And this Lord Zetland, he was the governor of Bengal in British rule. So he was familiar with the Indian culture. So he made it to the top. In British culture, he was a lord. Now he was thinking, well, why not have two qualifications? I'd like to be an Indian Brahmin also, along with being a British lord. So he asked these, and Godbrother Prabhupada, he said, Swamiji, can you make me a Brahmin? And Prabhupada's Godbrother replied, if you can give up illicit sex, meat eating, intoxication, and gambling, no problem, I can make you a Brahmin. And Lord Zetland immediately replied, impossible. So Prabhupada told us, he said, when I came to your country, I was thinking, as soon as I tell them, no illicit sex, no meat eating, no intoxication, no gambling, they immediately say, Swamiji, please go home. But Prabhupada said, but I thought, let me try. When I heard Prabhupada say that, I was realizing that Prabhupada's trying against what he perceived as impossible odds was what saved us. So when Prabhupada said, let me try, I yelled out, Jai, and 300 devotees joined in with me later, because they shared my mood. We all said Jai. Because that Prabhupada's trying, acting against impossible odds, what he perceived as impossible odds, from his own godbrother's experience of preaching in the West. Prabhupada's endeavor of preaching against impossible odds was what saved us. His dedication to his spiritual master's order. Even he thought he'd be a failure, like that Brahmin who couldn't read, even after all those attempted reads of the Gita, he still couldn't read it. But he got something better, he got Lord Chaitanya's mercy. So Prabhupada got Lord Chaitanya's mercy in an impossible situation to attract so many boys and girls to this movement. What Prabhupada did was impossible. But by the mercy of Lord Chaitanya it became possible. This is an amazing principle that devotional service is even stronger than Krishna. That's really an amazing principle. Krishna is all powerful. That's one of the 6 aspects, Bhagavan, the 6 opulences. Power. He has unlimited power. No one can. The demigods are afraid of God, you see, because he's so powerful. The religionists in general, they approach God out of fear. One of my students just wrote me, actually. One pious lady in India, my students, she wrote me that when I was a child, I was raised to be afraid of God. Don't do this because God won't like it. Be afraid of that, and fear of God. You see. But she said, I want to raise my child to love God, not to be afraid of God. She said, how can I do that? She wanted to know. Of course, the Prabhupada is giving us exactly how to do that. We understand that God is beautiful, He's wonderful. He's not an old man with a beard, a grouchy old man with a beard, who zaps thunderbolts at you, if you do something bad. He's a beautiful, loving person. There's nobody more gorgeous. He makes Miss Universe look like an old hag in comparison. This universe is an old hag in comparison to Krishna's beauty. Actually, you want to see a beautiful person? There's nobody more beautiful than Krishna. Everything about Krishna is beautiful. His smile, his teeth. His teeth are very, very beautiful. His teeth are very, very beautiful. They're so brilliant. It's just beautiful teeth. Everything about Krishna. His feet, his toenails, his navel. Everything about Krishna. Every hair on his head. Every single aspect of Krishna. His nostrils, his ears. Everything about Krishna is so beautiful and so wonderful. Every gesture,